Hello, 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 and welcome along or welcome back to the channel. Jayhuahua here, and it's another Football Manager 2023 experiment. Now, we've all posed that question, haven't we? What if Rangers and Celtic were in the Premier League? Well, as today is the Old Firm Derby Day, 2nd of January, Happy New Year as well, if you're watching it near the New Year. If you're not, then Happy New Year still, I guess. Anyway, what if Rangers and Celtic were in the Premier League? Well, I am here now to tell you I have put Rangers and Celtic in the Premier League. And we're going to simulate forward and see how they fare. Simple. So as you can see, Rangers and Celtic here in the Premier League. Now, of course, those teams needed to be replaced. So, I've replaced them with two teams that were scheduled that the media predicted were going to finish 19th and 20th. It's Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. So not only are we going to see how Rangers and Celtic fare in the Premier League, but we're also going to be seeing how Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest fare in the Scottish Premier League. It's as simple as that. There's nothing further to add, really. The Scottish Premier League is ranked 9th. Are Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest going to be able to elevate that? Probably not. Who's going to win the Scottish Premier League and who's going to do well in the Premier League? Are Rangers and Celtic not only going to survive, are they going to thrive? Time will tell. We will jump forward just the 1 year firstly. 1 year just to see how the first season went with the current squads. And there you have it. The first season. The league was won by Liverpool, followed up by Man City, Chelsea and Tottenham. Arsenal in the Europa League places. Manchester United down in 10th, but still qualifying for the Champions League. How did they do that? We'll come back to that. Celtic finished 15th, but unfortunately, dead bottom was Glasgow Rangers. This experiment's got off to a bad start, hasn't it? And the cinched Premiership, well, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest won. I mean, look at that, by a canter. Hearts in third on 59 points, Nottingham Forest on 82, and Bournemouth on 90. Absolutely running away with it. Fair play. Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest now in the Champions League, Rangers in the Championship. So Manchester United, the competitions, they won. What did they just win? They've won the Europa League. They've just won the Europa League with a victory against Chelsea on penalties. 3-0 as well. Okay, so not a great start for Rangers and Celtic, but an excellent start for Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. So we're going to jump forward 9 years. So we're going to go 10 years into the future and see how everything is getting on. So here we are in 2032, and England have just won the Euros. England have just won the Euros. So let's get to the Premier Division. And as you can see, Celtic are still in the Premier League. How have Celtic been faring? So they stayed up in the first season with finishing 15th, as we saw. Then they went down. Got into the playoffs. Then they won the championship by only getting 1 point more. Yeah, they were third with 90 points. Then they were first with 91. And then they finished 17th. So narrowly avoiding relegation on 32 points. Then 33 points. Then they finished 19th on 32 points. So they didn't do any better, really, 2 seasons prior. But that was enough for them to be 17th. Then in the championship, they finished 5th, then 6th. And then they went up via the playoffs, it seems, and then they finished 16th in the most recent season. So their best finish was season 1 at 15th. Since then, it's been a tumultuous time for Celtic. Now, Rangers, we saw them go down, but in the championship, they finished 5th and won the playoffs, it seems, but then they came back down, finishing 20th again in the Premier League. Then they finished 5th in the championship again. Looks like they won the playoffs. Came back down in 20th. They finished 6th on 80 points. Didn't go up. They finished 5th, their lucky position, it seems. Again on 80 points. This time, they went up again. So each time Rangers have been promoted, they finished 5th and then won the playoffs. That is some record, isn't it? And then they came 20th again. in what is their worst season, this most recent one, 20 points. And then they finished 5th in the Championship, finally breaking that streak, not managing to get promoted. They finished 4th, again, their best finish in the Championship in terms of position. They did not manage to go back up. So they are in the Championship for the 3rd year in the row. Their longest stint in the Championship, no less. Okay, Finch Premiership then. Well, Bournemouth have won it every season. Nottingham Forest have come second every season, except one season where Hibernian snuck in, the 26-27 season, where Nottingham Forest finished down in 3rd. It is getting a bit tighter amongst recent times. Let's go back to the start. At the start, as you can see here, yeah, they were miles away. 59 points to 82. 55 to 88, yeah, again, like 58 to 81, 82. So the gap is narrowing. The 60s, now 70s, here we go. And this is where Nottingham Forest finished down on 58 points. Absolutely awful for Nottingham Forest. Deary me. And there they go again. Bournemouth always consistently in the 80 points. Bournemouth are just far and away the best team in this league. However, the most recent season is their worst season. Only winning it by 9 points, and Nottingham Forest 4 points clear of Dundee United. Don't know how Dundee United finished in the Conference League when St Mirren got the Europa League. Maybe they won the Cup. Did St Mirren win the Cup? St Mirren won the Cup. Oh, I'm good, aren't I? What a detective. So yeah, speaking of the Scottish Cup, Bournemouth have won 1, 2, 3, 4, and Nottingham Forest have won 3. Bournemouth have come up 5 times. In 10 years, Bournemouth have won 3, 4, and come runner-up 5 times. So the only year where Bournemouth weren't in the final, it was a Hibernian Hearts final, and Hibernian won. So the Cinch Premiership is down in 10th. It's actually dropped a position in terms of competition reputation. It was up in 8th in 2030, but it's been down in 11th, down in 13th as well. So looking back at previous winners, it's just the Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United have snuck one as well. In terms of Champions Leagues, Man City won 3 on the spin, Liverpool have won 1, Barcelona, PSG with a couple, Borussia Dortmund here. Europa League, Aston Villa won 1 here, Aston Villa have won 2, Leicester's won 1, Tottenham. Aston Villa have won a Europa Conference League here. Again, nothing from the Scottish League in terms of Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest. 15 years then, we're going to jump forward 15 more years, so we're 25 years into the future. Let's go. So here we are, 25 years into the future, and as you can see, Celtic still in the Premier Division. Every time we've come back, they've been here. And they've been, when we were last here, was it 2032? So they just finished 16th, I believe. They then went down that following season, spent 3 years in the Championship before getting automatic promotion. And then since then, they have maintained Premier League status, finishing as high as 8th a couple of seasons ago. 2 top half finishes, and they are on the move. 2 17th, 14th, 11th, 10th. Very much becoming a mid-table side. Fair play, Celtic. Now, Rangers, still in the Championship. And they have just become a bit of a yo-yo team, really, haven't they? And every time they've got in the Premiership, 20th, 19th in 2033-34. So their best finish, 20th, 18th, wow. 19th, 18th. So Rangers have every single season they've got into the Premier Division, they've always finished in the relegation places and come straight back down. They've never managed to maintain themselves within the league. They have won the Championship, to be fair. They won the Championship in 2043-44, so they're not doing too bad, but, you know, not great. And, so last year in 32 when Bournemouth won it, and then Nottingham Forest have gone on a spree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. Then 3 for Bournemouth, 2 for Hibernian, Bournemouth, 2 for Forest, and Hibernian again. Hibernian breaking the Forest-Bournemouth stranglehold on the league. Nothing unusual in the Champions League. Cup 3 for Arsenal, 3 for Liverpool, 5 for Liverpool, 6 for Liverpool. Jesus Christ. City have won 1, United. Hibernian have won the Europa League. Celtic came runner-up in the Europa League here. Nottingham Forest came runner-up as well. So that's very interesting. A European trophy has been won by a Scottish team, and it wasn't Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest. It was Hibernian. And nothing's happened in the Europa Conference League. Right, okay, so we're pretty much just going to rattle through a further 25 years. So we're going to have a full 50-year simulation and see what the lay of the land is. Have Rangers managed to go up and stay up? That'd be nice to see. And have Celtic managed to go on better and actually win a trophy? So, firstly, multiple things to look at here. I'm just on the Premier League thing. Holders, Newcastle. We'll get to that. Celtic are in the Premiership, as are Rangers. We have both teams in the Premier Division for the 50th season or after 50 years. Happy days. Celtic competitions, domestic leagues. So they have been in the Premier Division since, when did we were in 47, weren't we? So we were about here. I think they just finished 12th, hadn't they? So yeah, they've still maintained mid-table. They did go down in 19th place, but they came back up with 105 points, winning the championship. Absolutely won it a canter, and then stayed up ever since. Again, maintaining very much mid-table mediocrity. 12th and 11th is their favourite position. Rangers then. So as I said, we were here in 2047. So Premier Division, they went back down. 49-50. 3 years in the championship, going up in the playoffs, and came back down again. Went up in second, and they managed to stay up. 17th, 14th, then they came back down. Went back up by winning the championship with 101 points. Stayed up, went back down. 5th, 7th, didn't even make the playoffs. Oh my God, they were in the championship for a long while. Then they won it out of nowhere. Came back down, 20th. Championship, they went back up automatically, and they've just stayed up most recently on 17th. Go on, Rangers. Well done, lads. Cinch Premiership. And so the past winners, so Wraith have absolutely taken over the Scottish top flight. So 47 was around here. Hibernian, Wraith had just snuck in actually. I don't think we'd seen that. I think this is the season that we had about to start, the 47-48 season, wasn't it? The Wraith had finished third there. We missed that. Eagle-eyed viewers might have seen that. If you predicted Wraith to go on a rampage, well done. Forest won a few, Bournemouth snuck one, and then it's been all Wraith apart from Bournemouth. Bournemouth had been third, really. Not great. Not great. Champions Leagues then, since the 40s. Bayern, Liverpool, City. No one. Newcastle have won them there. No one really outlandish apart from Newcastle, but they've got a lot of money, so you'd expect at some point them to come good. Anyone winning the Europa League? Arsenal winning a hell of a lot of Europa Leagues. Watford, Wolves. How many Europa Leagues have Arsenal won? 8. 7 of them in this experiment in 50 years. Aston Villa, Bristol City. So in the late 2020s. They came up to the Premier Division, went down a couple of times and came back up. And then by 2041, they came back up to the Premier Division and stayed there. They finished second here a few years ago. We've got a failed tycoon takeover bid here. Young Hyun Choi. They had a tycoon in 2032. Anthony Shah. The Bristol City have had a tycoon takeover and absolutely gone on a tear. So let's look at the Premier Division then. Who's won the Premier Division? As you saw, as we've seen, Newcastle have won it most recently, and Bristol City have come second a couple of times. A few times, actually 3 times over the course. Man United went on an absolute tear, reminiscent of the 90s and 2000s. Liverpool have won either side of that. Man City and Newcastle are littered in between. Newcastle have won 3 of the last 6, as have Man City. And that's about it. A quick look at the internationals. England, Spain, France, England, Brazil, Italy, Germany, Spain, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Italy, and Spain. No one unusual, really. Serbia, 3rd placed here. Uruguay, 2nd place here. Mexico, Chile. Quite a few good runners-up that were a bit unusual, but no real unusual winners. That's about it for this experiment. So Rangers and Celtic, how did they fare in the Premier League? Celtic were very much mid-table. Rangers were a yo-yo team and spent more time in the Championship than in the Premier Division. Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, as we saw, Bournemouth absolutely smashed it to begin with. Forest came back with a little bit of a run, and they've both been superseded by Wraith Rovers. And that's it. That's the end of it. I hope you've enjoyed this experiment. If you have enjoyed this experiment, please do drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel. I do enjoy making these experiments, as well as some of the other content that I put out there. Our Let's Play with Oldham. So if you've enjoyed this and you've not seen my content before, head over and watch some of that playlist. the olden days. It's a lot of fun. There's plenty more experiments there as well. If you've got any ideas, please do leave them in the comments down below. If you've got anything that I didn't cover and you want me to check out, I can check it out and pop it in the comments below as well. So do let me know. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like I say, like the video, subscribe to the channel, take care, and I will see you soon.